With Christmas being only a few days away, I've got a few Tech Yes pre-orders to get through, as well as I'm going to be building up a couple of PCs for friends and family as well. So today, we're going to go hit the road a little bit and vlog behind the scenes on all this stuff that has to get done here. Because it is a busy month, but I've been trying to also relax too with Cyberpunk 2077 released. I mean, it's hard to stay away from that game. It's very good in terms of the storyline and all that stuff. But if you're on PS4, my condolences.
If you want all the RGB you can't handle and more, then the ASRock X570 Taichi Razor Edition is the motherboard for you, with a 14-phase digital power design, 7.1 channel audio, Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5. This time, RGB won't be the compromise. Links in the description below to find out more.
So I just picked up a Rampage Extreme X79 motherboard, and they're saying this one was still brand new in the box. I checked it out, it looked like it was in really good nick if it had been opened before. And having the box still being 150 Aussie dollars, I had to get this because in the past I've sold one of these motherboards to a collector. The Rampage boards, they're pretty much the only X79 boards, or X58 and X99. Rampage boards are pretty much the only models that if they're in the box, they're worth a bit of extra, because they're pretty much the elite models that the serious LN2 overclockers use. So they're still in demand from LN2 overclockers. They're also still in demand from collectors. So picking this up for 150 in the box, I definitely scored here, where I've sold one in the past and made quite a bit of profit on that. For some reason, it was yet again out in a little bit of a rural area as opposed to being in the city. So maybe that's got to do with it, but who knows? Tech Yes on the road. Let's go to the computer store and see what they've got. So we just got back now, and I managed to pick up this last night. It's a 1660 Super. I got that for 300 Aussie, and also scored a GTX 1070 for 150. So I'm starting to sort of, any chance I get to get graphics cards at decent prices, I will. I've also heard as of yesterday, 1660 Supers have stopped production. So that's gonna be very interesting to see how the GPU market turns out. I mean, is that RTX 3050, is that coming very soon? If it isn't, then man, the GPU market's gonna get even worse. So this card right here was kind of a savior for in Australia, there was a 300 Aussie dollar price point. In America, 200 USD. If this thing stopped production, then there better be an answer for it. But we got this case right here. We've done a build in it. I picked up a 3070 for it. It's got 4 ARGB 140mm fans, and it's called the AR140. And it's a little bit over 100 Aussie dollars, but the airflow is amazing. Comes with 3 different ways to route RGB. In terms of, you got a remote, front panel LED, and you can wire it into the board if you wish to. So I've sort of been just trying some new stuff, experimenting a little bit, and it definitely is looking really good so far. But that's sort of what I got stockpiled here. And then we just got that Rampage board on the desk. And then we've got this right here. This is the PC I put together, and we just got the parts for it now. It's a white case, got a bit of RGB in it. It's got a 10100F, 16 gig of RAM, and a GTX 1660 Super as well. So they're pretty popular. Now, one thing we had to do with this build, we got it all ready because it's coming with a AOC monitor. I'm doing a little combo for them. And this is the interesting thing here. I didn't realize with this budget motherboard here, the H410, you actually have no XMP profiles here. So what we do, if you've come into this situation where you got no XMP profiles, just grab your smartphone or a camera if you don't have a smartphone, and just go to the memory information, and it'll actually tell you the XMP profile. So then you can go from there, especially with these sub timings. They're very important for locking in a stable OC on your memory. And since we're going with a 2666 megahertz limit here on the H410, we can then drop these timings down roughly by 2 notches. And you'll still get very good performance out of this motherboard with the 10100F. So we can see here we've locked in all those timings from the memory information and -2 on each of them. And then we've left all these sub timings pretty much the same. And we've even dropped the command rate down to 1 because we've only got 2 sticks of memory. So this here has enabled us to lock in a solid memory profile, even off a board that doesn't have XMP support or any other features like that. So there's that little workaround there. And of course, the person who buys is gonna get absolutely amazing price performance, and they're gonna get a very good gaming experience that's smooth as well. But what we're gonna do right now is there's a GTX 970 that's come up for 100 Aussie dollars. So I'm gonna go pick that up right now. But also there is 4 SSDs I gotta go collect, just little 120 gigabytes. And they're gonna go into 4 budget PCs I'm gonna put together with those 4 budget graphics cards that we got on the previous parts hunt. So if we can whack all those budget graphics cards in there, we'll have like these entry-level Roblox gaming PCs if we include a monitor, keyboard, and mouse. It's a good little combo. Sometimes that's all people want, especially if they're on a budget. So let's go hit the road yet again. So we just got this GTX 970 right here for $100, and it's time to go get those SSDs. And we are at the next day where I've got the 4 SSDs, and I had a PC that came through here and I had to quickly fix it up where it was only like I sold it a week ago and then it came back with a RAM stick. Literally just like down the bottom of the case. Sometimes you sell PCs and you just scratch your head, put it that way. But anyway, on to finishing off the next 4 builds that we got here. So we've lined them up where I'm gonna be just giving them some tech yes loving, cleaning them up, and then putting in these 4 potato GPUs, and then just also 4 500 gigabyte hard drives and the SSDs and 8 gigabytes of RAM, just to make out 4 little combos in preparation for Christmas and over the holidays. So it's kind of like at the moment I'm kind of doing 2 things at once, and that is just getting stuff ready, and then I also want to have a little bit of a break over Christmas because I've been going all year on this, like, it's just been nuts. 2020 has just been insane in terms of PCs and everything computer, where I think we got that, I guess everyone's just staying home now a lot more than they were used to. And it's just caused this massive pent up demand, even for Roblox gaming PCs. Let's get that tech yes loving underway anyway. And now we've gone through 4 computers, they're all ready to go, and this is gonna be the final PC put together before Christmas. I am just gonna show you my feeling right now and what's going on inside my head. I'm at the finish line. I've finished up all this stuff. We've got these PC builds that have all happened here today with low end and high end, and I'm completely burnt out. I'm probably the most burnt out man on YouTube in 2020. I've been going all year, and I guess this last week, as sort of like all the videos have just wound down, I've been really just like, my whole adrenaline has just been dropping off heaps, and it's good for me because I need to really rethink what is going on in the market at the moment. And it's definitely, I'm going to tell you guys straight away, it's definitely a 2-speed market right now. We're going to probably make this before the end of the year as well, some dedicated pieces on used versus new and what's going on. But I'm basically starting to sell more new PCs now than I'm selling used, which is scary because I came in years ago when I came back to Australia from Japan, and in Japan I was just doing a lot of used price performance and there was always the used parts there. But I'm finding now people are actually paying more on the used market for the same performance that they're getting new. So things are really not making any sense for a guy like me who loves pure price performance. And so that's one thing I've just had a hard time. And the biggest one I'm gonna just talk to you guys about is the i7-7700, for example. That one really baffles me as to why, and you go on eBay completed listings, for example, you see the price of these CPUs, and it's just like, wow, the PC market was never like this in the history of PC parts. Another thing we're seeing too is the GTX 1660 Super. I'm told that production has been cut on that model. Now that in Australia, that's a 300 Aussie dollar card. It's pretty much a staple card that's selling really well at the moment. A lot of people go for it. It's a good card, solid value, solid power efficiency. And that card being cut off means, what are we getting in its place? In the US, I think it's a $230 card. What do we have as an answer for that replacement? Is there going to be an RTX 3050, but is it going to be a bit more? Is it going to cost 260 US or 300 US? And is in Australia, is that going to cost 400 Aussie dollars? Because now we're being priced into a different category with that. And then there's the other factor that I've been looking at lately, and that is the RX 570 and 580s, 570, 580s. Like, why are these cards still selling extremely well on the new market? They've been out for ages, like years and years. And this is the first time for me since I started building PCs way back in the day. This is the first time, and this is the scary thing, right? I think a lot of other tech channels should look at this too, is when we, instead of being, I guess a lot of us have just been boggled and bamboozled by the amount of newer products coming out on the high end, to stop and really have a think of what's been going on in the entry level. And what I'm seeing here is just a complete stagnation and almost like a push into the higher end. And don't get me wrong, the higher end stuff like the 3060 Ti, that's good value, right? You're getting really good price performance in its category, but in Australia, it's still a 700 Aussie dollar card. In America, it's still a 400 USD card. And so there seems like there's this push away from your used parts and your new stuff that's been on the cheaper end into this higher end segment. And there's like no answer for it. And we're still seeing RX 570s and 580s and GTX 1060s on the used market, for example, still remain with their relatively high prices for how long they've been out on the market. So coming into the latter half of this year, these are all the questions that have been in the back of my mind. And now that things are winding down, I can finally start to focus on them and really start to stop and think and just give you guys my thoughts in a video and a vlog type content, because you guys have really liked this vlog style content in the past, and it's good for me. I mean, as my adrenaline goes down, I realize how burnt out I am. I'm like, damn, I need to sleep a lot more. But I've been doing well in terms of health and all that stuff. Don't worry about that. But I've now started to take a real laid back and critical view of the market and what's really going on. And that's one thing I've noticed now is the budget end is going into a real haywire state where there is those two speeds. And so with that, we're going to be, if the used market continues to be overpriced the way that I'm seeing it be overpriced, where look, you might be like, well, a GTX 1070 for $150, Brian, that's an extremely good deal. And yes, that's a good deal, but that's generally like what 2 years ago or 3 years ago, that's what you were generally just getting hit after hit on the used market. A GTX 1070 now for 150 Aussie dollars, that is rare in Australia. That does not come up like at all now, because people know that they can get 250 at least for it. So that's kind of what's going on with the used market. It's really been confusing me, but at the same time, it's because we haven't seen a push from the new market in this category to really make these cards where they should be at, and that's 150 Aussie bucks for a 1070. And in America, 100 and maybe $20 USD for a 1070, because that's where it should be in my opinion, but that's not where it is. And there it all is, out on the table. And it really feels good for me to get all these thoughts out, because I've been sort of keeping them in the back of my mind, but I do want to know what you guys think of the whole market in the last year. It just has been a complete roller coaster for me personally, trying to look at parts and stuff, to the point where I got people now messaging me on an AliExpress video we did over a year ago, an all AliExpress build. And they're like, damn, I wish the prices were still like this. And then they're messaging me now and they're like, well, prices have changed. And it's mainly on graphics cards, and that's what we're gonna notice. The DDR4 RAM and the SSDs and the CPUs, they're all fine for prices. It's just the one big thing, and that's the GPUs are setting everyone back now in terms of their costs. And that's because we desperately need now more than ever a new answer to all these RX 570s and RX 580s that are still in fashion years later. And with that aside, I hope you guys enjoyed today's Christmas whip up and vlog on just PC tech in general. It's been definitely something I just like, well, I'll take the viewers with me, what I'm doing behind the scenes, what I'm thinking. And if you guys enjoyed that one, then be sure to hit the like button for us. And we've also got the question of the day here. It's kind of like a in between a question and a comment. And it's from Mito, and they ask, can you try exploring the Windows modded version like the Ghost Spectre? I have it and it's amazing, and it may help getting more FPS and stability. So I did notice a few of you guys commented on the recent Windows 10 performance video we did, where we tested the 2015 OG, just didn't really mod it at all. Then we tested a 2020 and we just did some quick like inspector, disabled inspector, and I think I did a few other quick things. But you guys were talking about a YouTuber called Ghost Spectre, and he's doing some great work from what I've quickly checked out on his Windows 10 guides. So I'll have to check that out more, and perhaps if it all works out, we could do a collab for you guys and get you getting the most FPS, especially if you're on a potato or something like that. Who knows? But I've looked it up and my first impressions do look pretty good. Anyway, thanks for letting me know in the comments, guys. And if you stayed this far and you're enjoying that Tech Yes content, then be sure to hit that sub button, ring, I gotta do it again, ring that bell. And I'll catch you in the next one very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.